Hi, I'm Dr. Caroline Leaf, and I'm a clinical and research neuroscientist, and I've been researching the mind-brain-body connection for over 38 years now. And I've developed a system called the neurocycle, which is how life gets into our mind-brain-body network, and then how we can actually rewire that network and improve how we're functioning. And it is a system of delivery of mental health. So it helps us with our mental health. It helps to improve our mental health and helps us with performance anxiety. It helps us with managing day-to-day struggles. It helps us with dealing with traumas. It helps us with building new habits. It helps us with optimizing functions. Basically, it's how your mind works. So what I've done is taken how your mind works and basically put that into a very simple 5-step system called the neurocycle to help you to drive your mind in the right direction. Now, why would that be important? Well, your mind drives everything. Your mind is not your brain. Your brain is just a filter and a responder. Your mind actually drives your brain and drives your body. You could see the mind like the sky. The mind is like the sky, and the clouds are like the thoughts in the sky. And then your brain is like the ground with trees in it. And your body is like the ground with all the greenery and hedges and things like that. So every single experience in life, including the preparation that you have done and what you are going through now as you get yourself ready to perform in the Olympics, and before each of your whatever it is that you're competing in, all of that is stuff that is built into your mind-brain-body network. So you with your mind chose that path, did that training, built those networks into your mind, brain, and body. But as you were making that decision, your mind started the process. Your mind built it in. The mind built it first, and then your mind, which is you. Your mind is you. It's your aliveness. So you chose your direction, your athletic choice, and you went into this training, and all of that is mind driven, and you built all of that into your mind, brain, and body as a network, psycho-neurobiological network. And the more you trained, the stronger that network, and that's what's driving you. And you've developed that network to such a high level of expertise that you are now at the Olympics. So there's the expertise you've developed in your specific athletic domain, for want of a better word, your specific expertise, but there's also you in life, and that is the anxiety and the love and the ups and the downs and the habits and the mental health challenges and the traumas and the bad habits and the good habits and the goals. All of that mental experience is also wired into your mind-brain-body network, and sometimes those can actually hinder our performance. So we do all this training and build these brilliant networks which enable us to perform to the point where you're competing in the Olympics, which is phenomenal, and congratulations. But we can have mind networks that maybe block our ability to use those mind-brain-body networks of the actual physical activity you do. So there's the actual physical network that you built, and then there's the mind networks. There's the networks that you built in your mind-brain-body that also drive those. So they're connected. So every physical thing that you do is connected to another thought, which is kind of the mind driving it. It's the mind-brain-body network. It's the mental pattern behind the actual physical action. And what we want to make sure is that that mental pattern that you've built is great and strong and resilient, and is going to just unleash that incredible physical ability that you've developed. And what can happen though is we can get, and we do, to get to where you are, you've already built those. Okay, and you've built the physical networks, and you've built the mental experts. What can happen though is that past issues of performing are also there, and as you go into this environment where there's so much pressure, that can bring up a lot of stuff from the past, the what ifs and what could have been and what did happen. And so those networks are also jumping up because they exist as well in your mind, brain, body network, in this whole sky, clouds, trees, and hedges inside of your body, because they're three different things. And those also come up. So it's like, think of lots of forests and lots of hedges and lots of clouds, and them all being activated. Like you can almost imagine like a light shining. So the cloud clouds, there's a whole lot of clouds in the sky, and there's a whole lot of trees in the forest, millions of trees in the forest, and there's a whole lot of hedges and flower beds and things. And what's happening is, as you go into this specific Olympic time, then there's like a spotlight shining on certain clouds, and then those clouds are connected to a certain clump of trees and are connected to a certain clump of the hedges. The hedges represent the memories in your body, because we build all our memories in groups, clustered into thoughts in our body and in our brain and in our mind. So we're building the expertise to compete, plus the mental resilience to drive that competition, plus all these past experiences, everything about our lives, all built into this connected network. And that drives how we function. So we can have this great skill network developed, we can have this great resilience preparation network, but then the past can jump up, and that can kind of block the two working together. And we need that mental resilience one connected to the physical expertise one, in order for you to perform at your best, in your best way. And so we've got to watch what's coming in between, and what's coming in between are the past potential things that have happened that have been maybe negative, and also the day-to-day struggles. We're all going through something. So maybe something just recently happened. Maybe you lost a loved one. Maybe you got sick. Maybe there's a problem with a relationship. So there's the things that are going on in your life at the moment, and those are popping up. And those can also kind of get between the mental resilience network and the physical resilience network, and that can interfere with the connection between the resilience and the skill network, which you need to perform at your best. So what we need to do is acknowledge, and not just try and suppress, but to acknowledge what is going on in your day-to-day life that's been activated now, and that's potentially interfering and taking your mind away, taking your mind off the focus of the resilience mental network and the physical network, which are the two you need to perform. And then also what past stuff is popping up. Maybe it's traumas, maybe something's been activated. So what stuff from the past is acting up? And then also, what scenarios are you creating? If only scenarios, or could have, would have, should have scenarios. So there's a lot of stuff coming up, and that gets kind of messy. And that's very normal. What I've just described is a very normal process. Our messy mind is how we do all this stuff, how we do life. But we also have a wise mind, and our wise mind is what we call in science the non-conscious mind. And it's brilliant, it's incredible, it knows everything, it's your best friend, and it's got everything you need to activate that resilience mental network, that physical network, get them connected and working together, and getting you into that space where you're going to perform at your best. It also helps us to then catch all the past stuff that's disturbing us, the day-to-day stuff, the traumas, the things that are popping up and squeezing in between. And it can help to squeeze those out so we can work on the two that we need. And I've developed a system called the neurocycle. And the neurocycle is how information gets into this network, how we can recognize when it's disruptive, how we can then get it under control, and how we can activate the ones that we need and optimize the networks. So it manages the networks and gets you focusing on the right networks. So it's called the neurocycle. It's a 5-step process. It's very scientific, but I've simplified it. I'm going to give you a very simple explanation of it now, and how you could potentially use it in this time that you have now, that you performing in the Olympics. And then if you want to know more, I recommend you go to my app. It's called Neurocycle. You can get it on iTunes and Google Play, and there's a web version as well. And I walk you through the whole process in depth, and you can use it for dealing with traumas that you haven't dealt with day-to-day struggles, with bad habits, and with building new habits into your life. In order to make a massive change in your life, in order to make small changes in your life, in order to make any changes in your life, you have to do a specific process daily. Habits are built with little steps every day. And the neurocycle, what I've shown with my research, is to build a habit and to make a change takes at least 63 days. And the bigger the change you want to make, the more of those 63-day cycles you're going to do. So this neurocycle walks you through that process of doing the 5 steps daily in a very specific way to help you make sustainable changes in your life, to build those habits that you want. Now, you can also use the neurocycle, like I'm going to describe it now, in the moment, to help you over this next time period while you're in the Olympics, while you're performing, while you're dealing with all the pressure that you're dealing with. Okay, so it's a 5-step process. It starts with a bit of what I call a mind hack, which is a brain preparation, which prepares the brain and mind-brain-body physiology. So it's a mind exercise. Remember, mind drives everything. Your mind is not your brain. Your mind is separate from your brain. Your mind, brain, and body. Your mind is in your brain and your body. It puts everything. It's around you, and it takes life and puts it in you. So your mind is like the sky. It's around and in and through and everywhere. Okay, and then your brain is just a filter, and where you store things, and your body is also like a filter where it stores things. Okay, and so what the neurocycle does is it makes that mind brain body network work as best as possible. So the first thing is to prepare all the biochemistry and to get all the correct chemicals flowing, and to get your heart working properly, and so that you don't to get your neurophysiology in a state where you are functioning at a very high level. And that you can focus. And so things like that we're all very familiar with: breathing, meditation, visualization. That's what you would do to prepare your brain. So simple brain preparation that you can do is a breathing exercise where you breathe in for 3 counts and out for 7 counts. Breathe in for 3 and out for 7. So 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Now, as you do that and you force it out, you're forcing oxygen and blood flow and chemicals into the front of your brain. So you're getting your physiology under control. You're activating your brain stem, and you're helping yourself to access your wise mind, that non-conscious spiritual part of you, which you want to be active to help control the messy mind. Okay, and we want the messy minds, all those things that are in between the resilience network and the physical network. Okay, so that you start with the breathing. Then you go into 5 specific steps. I'll name them first, and then I'll give you describe them. You're first going to gather awareness, then you're going to reflect, then you're going to mind storm, then you're going to recheck, then you're going to active reach. It's like flying a plane. Okay, flying a plane, you prepare the plane, that's the breathing. Then the plane takes off, that's the gather awareness, step 1. Then the flying is 3 steps: reflect, mind storm, and recheck. And then you land the plane is active reach. That entire cycle is happening all the time in your mind, on an unconscious level. It's what drives you. So what I've done is taken how we function as humans and made it a conscious system. So those 5 steps are a system for how you manage your mind and get the best out of you. Okay, so an example could be in terms of helping you now with performance anxiety, or just dealing with the pressure that you're under, getting the best out of you, in being able to enjoy this process, because it's amazing that you've got where you've got. And just being there is you're already a success. Okay, you're a success. You're amazing. There's something you can do that no one else can do. But to just cope with the moment by moment stuff, you can use these 5 steps really quickly in a couple of minutes. But obviously, after you go from the Olympics, and if you want to work on traumas and day-to-day struggles, if you want to get your mind managed all the time, which you need to, because your mind drives everything, so we constantly need mind management, then, as I said, I recommend that you learn how to use a neurocycle in all different ways. So here's a quick way you can use a neurocycle. So first thing is to do the breathing: in for 3, out for 7. Try and do it 6 times. That is going to be 60 seconds. And that's an amazing way of getting your neurophysiology under control, connecting your conscious mind, messy mind, with your non-conscious, where the wisdom lies. So it activates that. It brings, on a neuroscience level, it brings the thoughts into the conscious mind, the physical thought that's driving your expertise, the resilience network that makes that work, and also the stuff in between. Okay, so prepares you for that, gets that happening. Then step 1, gather awareness. So you're now going to be very laser-like and focus on gathering awareness of how you are feeling in the moment. How am I feeling? I am feeling X. Where do I feel this in my body? 4 questions you ask yourself. I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling it in my stomach. How is this affecting your behaviors? I am withdrawing. How is this affecting your perspective? I'm really nervous. So you just ask yourself 4 questions. How am I feeling? Where am I feeling it? How's this affecting my behaviors? How's this affecting my perspective? Those 4 questions bring a lot of order and clarity to the messy mind, and start bringing up those thoughts that are in between the resilience one and the expertise, the physical expertise one. It starts bringing them up, and it shows you. Because then the next question to find those is to say, the next step after you've gathered awareness of those 4 things is to reflect. Why am I feeling these? And as you ask yourself that, that's going to bring up the thoughts, the in-between thoughts. It's going to start bringing up things that, this happened in the past, and this could happen in the future, and this is going on in my life at the moment and I'm worried about that, and this relationship issue. So it's going to bring those things up into your mind, okay? And as the why brings them up, then you do a little bit of a mind storm, which is the third step. Gather awareness is the 4 things. Reflect is the why that brings up the stuff in the middle. And then your mind storm is to say, okay, let me look at some details here. What is going on here? What are the details of what I'm seeing? What is this thought? What is the name of this thought? Oh, this thought is, I'm worried about my mom because she's sick. It's affecting me. I'm worried about this person because I think they've trained more than I have. I'm worried about the fact that I did that in the past. And so whatever. So 3 or 4 things will come up. Don't do it for more than a few seconds, okay? So we want to keep this whole exercise in 3 minutes, okay? So, and I'll break down the timing for you once I've explained this. So the mindstorm, gather awareness, the four signals, emotions, behaviors, where it's in your body, and perspective. Reflect is the why, bringing those things up. The mindstorm is getting the details of those things that have come up. The recheck is to say, okay, this is what's happened. This is what this is what's blocking me. I'm worried about my mom. I'm worried about what happened in the past. I'm worried about this. Okay, 3 things. Now, how can I see this differently for now, in this moment? Well, my mom is in hospital. Doctors are looking after her. I can do nothing about that now. She's going to be okay. She's been looked after. Yes, that happened in the past, but I've learned from that. It wasn't a failure. What did I learn? What not to do? Okay, I'm going to grab that. And then maybe there is, this could happen. Yes, that could happen, but it hasn't happened. So why waste time on it? So you see that 4th step, which is called the recheck. You take each of those things. This is what's happened, and how can I see it differently? So you take each one, and you give yourself a quick little reconceptualization, and then you go to the 5th step, which is kind of landing the plane. And that is, okay, what action do I need right now to get me through the next moment? And it could be something like, okay, I acknowledge all those things. They're important. What's happened before is important, but what am I going to do now going forward? That's what counts. Something like that. So it's some kind of a statement, or I can do this because I've done it in the past, or I learned what not to do. I'm going to apply it now. So it's a simple statement that just gets you into that. You gathered that you paid attention to all those things. You've done something with them. Now you've got a little action statement that helps you move forward, and add to it a visualization. So your action statement, let me just choose one, is okay. That's happened. And what happens in the past is done. What counts now is what I'm going to do going forward. What counts now is what I'm going to do going forward. And then you visualize yourself completing the race, or you visualize something maybe unrelated, like a white flower or a sunset, and you just, in your mind, you just now focus on those. You don't allow yourself to go back down those other thoughts. You've done it now. Now you focus on this active reach to get yourself into that next moment, which is in the competition, or in that discussion, or in that next practice session, or whatever it may be, to get yourself through the next moment. So the active reach keeps you grounded and focused and anchored in moving into the next moment. And so you could, as I said, it could be something as simple as what's happened is over. What counts now is what I'm going to do going forward. And I see myself running along the beach. And every time those other thoughts that are interfering want to come up, the messy thoughts, you've already dealt with them. And your active reach now is saying, okay, I've acknowledged those, but I'm now moving forward those, and So I'm now moving forward with my statement and my visualization, and that takes all the energy out of those and puts it into that statement, which then activates the resilience network and connects it to the it's built like a bridge between the resilience network and your physical activity, your ability to perform whatever it is that you're performing. So you've built like a little bridge between the two. I hope that helps you, and I'm so proud of you for getting where you've got, and I encourage you, you're going to be amazing just getting where you've got. There's something you can do that no one else can do, and just the process of being here and going what you're going through is just incredible. But try these 5 steps, let me know how it works, and if you want to know more, you can go to my website, drleaf.com. I'm Dr. Caroline Leaf, my social media. You'll find lots of encouraging stuff there. I have a podcast called Cleaning Up the Mental Mess, lots of encouraging stuff there, and of course there's the app which really helps you. It's something you can use for the rest of your life to help you with your mind management. But I hope this little exercise helps you, and all the best. I'm rooting for you. Well done.